Alrighty, hi guys, and welcome to the finale for Big Brother Monopoly. Um, Obviously, for the past hours, the jury has been voting between.
Jacob?
Huh?
Oh my god, he fucking did.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
Oh, I thought my internet cut out.
I think mine might have. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so as I was saying before, my internet interrupted me. The past 24 hours, the jury has been voting between Emma and Mackenzie to win the first season. I mean, this isn't the first season. What? To win the season of Big Brother Monopoly. But before we get to the votes, we are going to be giving out awards for the season. We have, I don't know how many awards here. A lot. I didn't count them. There's like, I don't know, 15, 20 awards maybe. So, we decided to do something different this season, and we gave a runner-up for each award too, because some of these were really difficult to decide just one person. Okay, just kidding. I guess we're doing the winner first. My bad. So, whoopsie. So, if you guys are ready, I will announce the votes from each of the house guests. So, first up, we have Dim. Dim has cast his vote for Mackenzie to be the winner of Big Brother Monopoly. Next up, we have Jess. Jess has cast her vote for Emma to be the winner of Big Brother Monopoly. Next up, we have Andrew. Andrew has cast his vote for Emma to be the winner of Big Brother Monopoly. Next, we have Austin. Austin has cast his vote for Mackenzie to be the winner, which means we are tied 2 votes Mackenzie, 2 votes Emma. 5 votes left. Next up, we have Brian. Brian has cast his vote for Emma to be the winner. Gwen has cast her vote for Emma to be the winner. And William has cast his vote for the winner of Big Brother Monopoly. Congratulations, Emma. In a vote of 7 to 2.
Shut the fuck up.
Christine and Corey also voted for Emma. So from a vote of 7 to 2, congratulations, Emma.
Congrats, Emma.
Oh my god.
Wow, congratulations. You guys both did amazing, though. You guys both should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah.
You did so good, Mackenzie. I'm so happy that a Black Widow Brigade member won.
All right, so we'll get to the awards now since we have a lot of them. Like I was saying, we did a runner-up for each awards, and some of these were like really hard because this cast was like really active, and everyone was playing super hard. So it was really hard to just narrow it down to one person. So we did a runner-up for each award too. So I guess I'll start with the most heroic award. This one basically is pretty self-explanatory, but we decided to give the runner-up for this award to Jess. Jess just like was a constant like voice of reason, I guess, throughout the game, and was always had a very positive like energy. You know what I mean? And yeah, we definitely think that she was very heroic in this game. And the winner of the most heroic award, we decided to give this one to William because it's his first Big Brother game, and he had a very positive attitude throughout the entire game, and was always super just like positive throughout the entire game. So that's our heroic award.
Next up, we have a fun one, villain of the season. Villain of the season, again, self-explanatory. This is the person who we thought played antagonist to most, if not all, of the house guests at some point. And the runner-up is Chris. I feel like, especially in the pre-jury, Chris was sort of running the game in a way that rubbed people the very wrong way, but it definitely made him a memorable part of this season. And the winner of Villain of the Season is Dem. Even as he got voted out of the game, even as he was in the jury, Dem was, on the opposite side of a lot of people's opinions, and for better or worse, it definitely made him the main antagonist of the villainous goes to them.
Okay, up next is Most Robbed Pre-Juror. This is basically who we believe should have had a farther chance in the game or another chance in the game. And for runner-up, we have Madison, who played her heart out in several vetoes and didn't have the cards laid out for her, sadly, as the last pre-juror of Big Brother Monopoly. As for Most Robbed Pre-Juror, it was a shock to many people of their eviction, and that eviction was Eve, especially since she had to go out on a twist. And with that, we believe that Eve deserved to win Most Robbed Pre-Juror.
Alrighty, the next award that we have is our Most Robbed Juror. So this award basically is just the same as pre-juror, just for the jury stage. These people basically just got cut a little bit earlier than maybe we expected them to, or something along those lines. So the runner-up for this award, we gave that to Corey, because it was such a close vote when he went. Honestly, just one more flip vote and he would have stayed and probably made it even further than he did. Definitely was robbed. He was playing very hard. And then the winner of Most Robbed Pre-Juror, we gave this one to Christine. Again, Christine was just playing very hard, very active, and was trying very hard in the game, and also got out because of basically a twist as well. So yeah. The co-HOH robbed her.
Alright, the next award is Most Impactful Juror Award. This is basically who we thought had the most to say, both in the jury house and towards the end of deliberation, and who we thought made the most impact on their fellow jurors. So the runner for this one is Gwen. Gwen is someone who is never afraid to tell people what she's thinking, and more than often, people listen to it. So that's why Gwen is runner up. And the winner of Most Impactful Juror is Corey. Corey was the first one in the jury house, and even when he was the only one in the jury house, he had a lot of thoughts and feelings. He wasn't afraid to let anybody know. He gave this game so much thought even after he was out of it. And I feel like that's more than deserving of the Most Impactful Juror Award.
All right. Up next, we have Best Rivalry. For runner-up, we have Emma and Brian, and that was shown when Brian nominated Emma, and there was a small fight on call, and you could see throughout the game they were a bit at each other's necks, but not hugely. However, for best rivalry, we are giving that to Dem and Gwen. I'm sure all of you have seen or at least heard about the fight that happened, and they didn't seem to mesh well all the time, and that's why we decided that Dem and Gwen are the best rivalry of this season.
Alrighty, the next award that we have is the best duo of the season. I feel like this season saw a lot of duos. Like, I could definitely count like 5 off the top of my head. So, this was also like a really hard award to give out. But we decided to give the runner-up to Austin and Andrew because definitely towards the end of the game, they started working together very closely and winning competitions to help each other out, like the vetoes and stuff. And definitely think that they were super loyal to each other, especially towards the end of the game. But the winner for best duo, we decided to give this one to Jess and Mackenzie because they basically were in a threesome with Eve. But after Eve got cut super early, the two of them joined forces even closer and worked together very closely throughout the entire game, getting properties, getting powers, winning competitions, anything like that. They definitely were super loyal to each other and are definitely like the perfect example of what a duo in this game is, in my opinion.
All right, so the next award is the biggest betrayal. This one was pretty much easy for us. We kind of decided these like as soon as they happened. The runner-up for biggest betrayal is in the part 1 HOH, where Emma promised to bring Dem to the end and then cut him when she won final HOH. Needless to say, it was a move that brought out a lot of feelings, and rightfully so, but that is runner-up. The biggest betrayal of the season is something that genuinely had us shocked and like shaken up for a little bit after it happened, and to this day it still kind of blows my mind that it happened in the way that it did. The biggest betrayal is Austin taking William's properties, getting the tiebreaker power from him, and using it to evict him. So the biggest betrayal is Austin betraying William. And yeah.
Worst HOH reign. So for runner-up, we have Gwen, week 9, and that was when Dem was the co-HOH for Gwen's reign. And that was a mess in itself. Gwen ally went home, and there's a lot of arguing that night, and some people like to call it the Gwencident. However, for worst HOH reign, it was Andrew's HOH during week 9 when he had the failed backdoor for crit, which kind of put a target on his back, and it basically started to develop the sides of the two house, who was a majority, who was a minority. And with that, that's why we believe that Andrew's HOH reign during week 4 deserved it.
Alrighty, guys. The next award that we have is the biggest GOAT award. Okay, I will start by saying this isn't necessarily like the host's opinion. It's more so the opinion of the other people in the game. Like, basically the confessionals and diary rooms towards the end of the game kind of gave us an idea for this as to who people wanted to sit next to in the final 2 that they thought they could easily beat. That's not necessarily the case, but that's their thoughts, okay? So the runner-up for this award, we decided to give to Brian, just because it seemed like after Brian lost Madison, people started dragging him along just a little bit. He was kind of just there. I mean, not that he didn't do anything, but in other people's eyes, he was kind of just there. And the winner for the Biggest GOAT award, we decided to give this one to Mackenzie, just because pretty much every person that was in the final 6 wanted to be at the end with Mackenzie, just because they thought that they could beat her.
All right, and the next award is the saddest eviction. This one, I feel like we kind of came to like a unanimous agreement. The runner-up, even though this happened very early on, the way that it happened, I feel like saddened us, saddened the VL. It was really tough to watch for all involved, including the house guests. The runner-up for saddest eviction is Tawny. I feel like she did not deserve to go unanimously the way she did. It was really sad, and we felt really bad. Almost as bad as we felt watching the actual saddest eviction, which, shocking to nobody, was Jess. We feel like Jess was playing such a good game and had such a good case for herself in the end, and to see her cut so short was honestly heartbreaking, just from a host standpoint of knowing what a good game that she played. So saddest eviction is Jess.
All right. Up next, we have Biggest Underdog. Runner-up for that is Brian. Throughout the game, Brian had a bunch of stuff thrown at him. He was caught in a duo. He was put up several times in touchy subjects. He didn't always get the ones. And we believe that with that, Brian is the runner-up for Biggest Underdog. However, for the award winner, we have decided to give it to Andrew. Andrew, ever since his failed backdoor, he has had a target on his back, and surviving the VL vote and several other votes and making it to the later end of jury is an achievement that Andrew should be proud of. And with that, that's why we believe that Andrew deserves the award of Biggest Underdog.
Alrighty, the next award is our host favorite award. This basically is just like who we enjoyed watching the most, who gave us the most interesting like host chat, diary room, stuff like that. Just people that we really were able to see a lot of, and we had a lot of fun just like reading their entries and stuff like that. The runner-up for host favorite, we gave this one to Emma, just because I always love watching Emma, no matter what it is. I think she's the funniest person ever. So, but our winner of our host favorite award definitely goes to Jess. Jess had the most thought out and long, and I cannot stress this enough, long diary room entries that I've ever seen. So we definitely got to see like more of her game than anyone else's, just from her telling us what was happening all the time. Not to mention the fact that she was, like I said this before, she was always a voice of reason and someone that like just brought a positive energy to the game, and that was really like refreshing as a host.
All right, next we have Most Dedicated. Runner-up, we have a tie of Jess and Dem, because this whole game they were giving it their all. They were very active in their diary rooms. They were always keeping up, and you could tell that the gears in their brain were always working when it concerned this game. However, the most dedicated of this season is given to Gwen. Gwen, I have never seen someone be so dedicated before. You were always on call, talking to others. You were always working in your diary room. You were always doing comps. You always gave it your all, especially during live comps, especially the selfie comp. And with that, we would like to thank you and also award you Most Dedicated.
Alrighty. The next award is another new one. We did this, the Most Entertaining Award. Basically, just whoever was the most entertaining. Pretty self-explanatory. Whoever was, on calls and putting effort in and was fun to watch, things like that. So the runner-up for Most Entertaining goes to Gwen. Like Kate just said, always on calls, always active, always doing something in the game. Very fun to watch. But the winner for Most Entertaining, we've decided to give this one to Brian. I had such a fun time watching Brian, especially towards the jury stage of the game. Watching his struggle to stay each week was so fun to watch.
All right, so after that is the Best Alliance Award. So this season, we 100% had more alliances than we've had in a game in the series. It was kind of ridiculous. Like, for the entire pre-jury and some of the early jury, we had a new alliance being made maybe every day, every other day. It was a lot to keep up with, which made this award kind of hard. But the runner-up for Best Alliance goes to Jason's Book Club. Jason's Book Club, I feel like, was one of, if not the most active alliance in the pre-jury. It consisted of Brian, Chris, Emma, Gwen, Corey, and Christine. I feel like they had a lot of sway in what was happening in the early game, even though they ended up getting exposed in a really loud way. We thought that their influence in the early game served runner-up for this award. And the winner of the Best Alliance Award goes to Bad Girls Club. For obvious reasons, the Bad Girls Club consisted of Andrew, Dem, Eve, Jess, Mackenzie, and Austin. These are the people who, aside from Eve, made it super deep into the game. They were really tight, even though they had a lot of splits, because again, there were so many alliances. I feel like this group of people always ended up coming back to each other and had each other's backs, even though they divided into smaller groups as we got to the end game. We just feel like this alliance was the most entertaining to watch. We were the most excited to see what they were going to do next. So, best alliance of the season is Bad Girls Club.
Alrighty, the next award that we have is Most Emotional. This basically goes to whoever was just basically they put their emotions into the game with them, whether it was positive or negative emotions. They definitely wore their hearts on their sleeve and just made it super obvious how they were feeling most of the time. So the runner up for this award goes to Madison. I think Madison definitely I love her to death, but she's definitely an emotional person, and it shows in games. Nothing wrong with that. Love you. And the winner for most emotional, we've decided to give this one to Tawny. Tawny definitely, in her short time here, proved to be a very emotional player. Some might consider it her downfall, but I don't know. I definitely loved Tawny, watching Tawny and stuff. And I think she definitely is super emotional in games.
All right. Up next is a new award that is purely for just fun and jokes and should not be taken seriously. It's all in good heart and good fun. And with that being said, for the Karen Award, we have Nikki. While Nikki's stay here was very short, Nikki was often telling people what to do, created a whole alliance chat without asking anyone first. And his way of leaving was very interesting, and he came back on a separate account pretending to be someone named the iconic Ash X, and it was a journey, and that's why we gave runner-up to Nikki. However, as I said before, this is all in good heart and good fun. The Karen Award is Gwen. Now, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. You were very dedicated to this whole game. However, you gave very big mom vibes, and you should be proud of how dedicated you were, because sometimes with dedication, there are some wacky sides, and I can agree, I've done that before. But Gwen was very dedicated to this game, and there were some moments where it rubbed other people the wrong way, but with that being said, Gwen, you have won the Karen Award.
Alrighty, we only have 2 awards left, probably the 2 biggest awards of the season, Fan Favorite and Player of the Season. We'll start with Fan Favorite. The VL has been voting for the past few days for who they want to win Fan Favorite, and it was a very, very close vote between the 2 people in the top 2. But the runner-up for Fan Favorite goes to Emma, and the winner of Fan Favorite goes to Jess. I think it was no secret that the VL was rooting for these 2 very hardcore throughout the game, and only 2 votes separated them from, like being Fan Favorite. So they both definitely deserve this.
And our final award, of course, is Player of the Season. This season, I feel like, had such dynamic gameplay. There was a lot coming out that we never would have expected to happen when we were planning the season. We made some casting choices that I'm really super proud of in the way of gameplay. And so I feel like our Player of the Season and runner-up Player of the Season are 2 deserving players who we're really proud to have had play this game. With that being said, our runner-up Player of the Season is Dem. Dem, throughout the entire game, had his hand in all the cookie jars. He seemed to always know what was going on in the end, even when it was not to his benefit. And I feel like the game that he played would have gotten him a lot of respect from the jury as well as whoever he was sitting next to in the final 2. So our runner-up for Player of the Season is Dem. And our Player of the Season is the person who we as hosts agreed played such a phenomenal game, from coming from sort of the bottom and rising to the top, having a lot of say in many decisions that were made, many powers that were used, being someone who people went to when they wanted decisions made. I just feel like this person truly summed up the way the season went. And so our Player of the Season is Jess. Congratulations, Jess.
Alrighty, that's all the awards that we have for you guys tonight. We made a channel in the server for the Monopoly reunion, so if you guys want to join that and talk the game out, anything that you guys want to do, feel free. But that's all that we have for you guys tonight for this stream. Stay tuned for the announcement for next season. It'll be coming very soon. And thank you guys again to everyone that watched the season, had a part in the season, all the players for sure. Everyone was super dedicated, active. It was super fun to watch. This has easily been the most interesting season in terms of gameplay and stuff. It was very hard to know what was gonna happen ever. So thank you guys so much. Congratulations again, Emma. You're a super deserving winner, and I'm super glad that you played. Same to you, Mackenzie. Thank you guys so much.